I was one of the people who, when the Huduma number exercise began, was of the view that the government could have actually just simply consolidated the data that it already had of the majority of Kenyans whose information is all out there. I have an NHIF card, I have an ID, I have bank records, I have a birth certificate that whose information and details are somewhere. So I was one of the people who was strongly opposed to the exercise because I thought that the government could have simply saved on the money they would have spent on Huduma number to consolidate the information they already had about me. And then if there was or there were Kenyans whose information was nowhere, then maybe now a few resources could have been allocated to registering this kind of Kenyans. And then second, when we were doing the census, again, I asked the same question. Why are we doing a census when we already did, we already registered for Huduma number? Was it possible for us to carry out, just get information that we could have gotten during the census, during the Huduma number registration process? So a lot of money was spent on this. And then again, the other question comes in of the disregard of a court order that had been sent during that particular time, just before the Huduma number exercise kicked off. There was a pending court case, and the court had actually, one of the declarations the court had made was that the exercise was not supposed to be a mandatory exercise, and even talked to the government, rather advised government not to issue deadlines on the registration process. Government went ahead and disregarded this particular directive by the High Court, and even completely disregarded the order that the exercise should be stopped. In fact, I remember having a lot of conversations with lawyers, and many lawyers actually refused to participate in the exercise, myself included. I said I did not see the need for this. And I remember cautioning and even saying, in fact, we were right here when I said I will not be surprised if a few months from now a scandal will come out regarding this Huduma number exercise. Just the other day we have seen, we saw an expert witness saying that even the machines that had been procured for this particular exercise were not, the right machines that should have been used, were not legitimate machines. So I am not surprised as a Kenyan, and I am very angry, I'm very angry. And I'm also happy that I predicted seeing this happen.
And we go back to the question of what do we do with that anger? Because at the end of the day, I'm sure there are very many Kenyans who identify.
I would say all that is debatable. Whether the machines are secure or not, that is debatable. Of course, if you and I go to a mobile phone shop today, we want to buy the same phone, and for various reasons.
Oh, come on.
Oh, wow.
Number two.
Come on, you can do better.
No. We are so quick to judge the government. I will tell you about the court judgment. I mean, our court has been meddling in the executive business for so long. I mean, what competence does our court have to issue an interlocutory order as to whether or not the government should proceed with the Huduma number registration or not on a 30-minute hearing? And that is a problem we've had with our courts, and it will continue for as long as they don't step back and analyze.
We will not absolve individuals and experts who are mandated to get government the equipment that is suitable when they fail. It seems as though Magal would agree with me that the rigging of the previous election in 2013, where the kids failed because they were not up to scratch, was justifiable, and that we cannot let go on this show. It cannot happen.
And then also we cannot set varying standards when we are discussing different topics involving the government. Last week we were here talking about the Kimwarer and Aror dams, scandal, and we were actually castigating the government and asking, where were the experts, What kind of experts advised the government on undertaking these projects, knowing very well that these projects were not viable? So the same procedure that is to be undertaken in assessing the viability of dams that we later come and complain about should have been the same, that standards that should have been applied when we were talking about, before we even started procuring this, equipment. So if we start allowing such mistakes to take place, I would be very cautious again about the upcoming elections. And I'm worried again because you will find that the same people who start to procure the equipment that were used for the Huduma number exercise will be the same people who will sit to procure the next equipment that will be used for the election that is upcoming.
We're going to have to take a break, and we'll start off from right there.